We just have one function left to write for viewing the bookings as a host. What bookings, available booking dates in your cages have been booked. And we'll be done with this application. So this require account stuff, paste that. That's the same. Nothing special there. Now we want to get the cages for the current user. Well, guess what? We've already written that. Find cages for user state.activeAccount. That's cool. So that was already done at some point along the way. And then what we need to do is we want to get the bookings, and we want actually a flat list of these are all the available slots that people have booked across all the cages. All right. So what we're going to do is a thing called bookings, like this, a list comprehension, and we're going to use sort of a dual comprehension to flatten it. So we're going to put something here, 1 and 2 things. I'll say what those are for in a minute. So we want to say for C in cages. And then for each cage, we're going to say for B in C dot bookings. Now we don't want all of them, right? There's already a way to see that kind of stuff. But what we want is the ones that have been booked. And we know they're booked if the booked time or the book date was set. So say if B dot book date is not none. What do we want to get back here? We want to get the cage and the booking. So we're going to get a flat list of all the bookings, and along with it, we're going to carry along its cage that it came from. So that's pretty straightforward. And then that's this part, getting them as a flat list. And then the last thing to do is just print them out. And that's a lot of typing for not a lot of value. So let's paste that over. We'll import date time. And we're going to, as we loop over them, we're going to unpack that tuple. So the CB here gets unpacked into the CB right there. And we'll say, for this cage, it was booked on this date by so-and-so. All right, it looks like this is going to work. I have a lot of faith in it. Let's give it a try. We'll come over here. We're going to be a host. We're going to log in as me. And are you ready? Moment of truth. View your bookings. No, there's no duration in days. So where did this duration in days go? So this is the booking. Let's look at the booking real quick here. It has a check-in and check-out date. Let's add this duration in days. Now, if we add it as an actual thing that Mongo Engine saves, that won't be so great because it's going to have duplicate data, check-in, check-out, and days. Like they could get out of sync. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a property. So we have a property called duration in days. So close. Days. Is that the same? Yes, duration in days. So down here, we just need to use the time delta to figure out what that is. So we'll say dt equals self.checkout date minus self.checkin date, and we'll return dt.days. All right, let's try to run this again. Oh, double ats. Come on. Too much help here. There we go. All right, come in as a host, log as me. Ooh, ready? View your bookings. Ta-da! Beautiful. And you can see our property is working just right there. So 5 days and 10 days. Now, remember when we actually we said we're going to book it, we could book it for a subset of time. We just don't store the data for how long the user said versus how long the time slot was. So they kind of get that whole slot, and that slot is worth 5 days and 10 days in duration. But given the data that we're keeping, this is working totally well. So I think we've done everything. We can create an account, log in, we can list our cages, we can register a cage, which we already did. We can update the availability, which is how we got these slots. We can view our bookings, which we just wrote, and we can even get a little help. We can go back to the main menu, and we could check out the guest just one more time around. Again, create login, same thing. It says book a cage. That's reserve a cage for your snake. We saw that we can add snakes. Oh, I got to log in as Sarah. She's the one with snakes. She has those snakes there. She can view her bookings from the perspective of her snake, not from the available slots, things like that, right? She only sees her bookings, not all the bookings across everything. And we can go back to the main menu, or because we're done, we can say goodbye to Snake B&B.